Saying, what are you working on, Matt P? How's everybody doing? I'm working on this City Classics building. It's called 101 Grant Street Iron Front Building. So that's what's going on here. Technically, this would be a side wall, and this would be a side wall, and this would be a back wall, and this would be the front wall. Boy, that's awful light for being iron. Huh. These are plastic kits. I'm not going to build it like that. I'm going to use all these pieces as background flats up against my backdrop with other buildings in front of them, so they don't need to be super highly detailed. Most of the mortar lines are there. I did put them in, but even if you're doing something like this and you don't want to be bothered with mortar lines because it sits so far back that you would never see them anyhow, that's fine. I just did it for whatever. I don't know. Don't really have to. But I'm going to add some weathering to them. And I got a lot more signs to put on. This will be a doozy to paint. It's kind of ornate. Well, it's very ornate, actually. I don't know if you can see in the camera there too well. They did for this, a cream colored, and like the trim is like an olive green and maybe a maroon. So, I don't know. Maybe something like that I'll do. I don't know. We'll get to it when I get to it. I want to finish these up first. But anyhow, I'm having a Jarritos. You ever have one of these? They're a Mexican soda. Pure cane sugar. Yeah, I need sugar, but I only treat myself to one of these, or any soda really, once every couple weeks. About once every 2 weeks I'll grab one. This is a lime. And boy, is it good. Alright, so anyhow, this video, I thought maybe it would be cool just to go back and have everybody take a look at my layout. Because I'm sure there's plenty of people that have joined, in the past month or so that haven't gone back through my whole catalog of videos and seen the very first one where I kind of gave an introduction to everything. And I didn't know what I was doing, and my camera was backwards, and my shirt was backwards, and everything was backwards, but it's there anyhow. And there was another one I did. It was called, I think it was called A Scene Within a Scene, Within a Scene, or something to that effect, where I just drilled down into various scenes on my layout. But I thought maybe it would be kind of cool to just take everybody around, show you everything. If you've seen it all before, then you've seen it all before, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that haven't. Let's see, the basics. It's HO scale. It's completely freelanced. It's everything's fictional, but it is based on a New England type scenes in the fall. It is DCC controlled by NCE. It's not complicated. It's more of a rail fanning layout than a total operations type layout. So it's not that you can't operate it. You can run trains. You can stop it and fill up your water tank. You can, drop cars off in sidings and pick them up and so forth. And eventually you'll be able to take them to a freight yard, which is over there, which isn't there because it's not even built yet. So, but there is one completed room. There's actually 3 rooms that are all dedicated for the layout. So the one directly behind you is completed, even though there's always a couple things you can add here and there to it and complete it even more. The next one over that way is a harbor town. And over there will eventually be a type of urban city and freight yards and engine facilities and things like that. And a staging yard at some point. So, that's about it. I'll want to take you, that's just a quick overview, so we'll take a walk around and talk about various things on the layout and how it was made and so forth and so on. Maybe you'll find it interesting. I hope so. So if you want to hang on, let me get off my tuchus here and we'll go check her out. Starting at the top of the stairs. So we go down into the basement. I have some decor. Eventually these walls all the way up through the stairwell and everything will get painted and more decor. But these are just hanging there for now. Whether they end there or not, or I do not know. So this room where I'm standing will spin around, steps up. There's a closet back here. It's got my camping junk in it. It is possible that I could put a staging area maybe in here, in the closet. I don't know. All this is not even really thought about how it's going to be worked out, this whole room. See my extra lumber and stuff, some machinery stuff. So it's kind of funky shaped. You can get around. If you see you come down the steps, you got that small area there and it widens out. You got a door there. So I don't know, I forget what my dimensions are on this room. It's probably about, if I remember, 11 feet, like from the edge of the staircase to that wall. It's probably about 11 feet. And then from the closet whole way down to this wall is about 18 feet. So it's kind of a strange, I don't know, strange thing. But somehow in there's going to be, I'm picturing anyhow, freight yard, like I said, some engine facilities, and also the main line would be a big loop that comes back around into this lovely hole I cut in the wall. See, there's 2 tracks that come through there. They're actually the same track. It may look like a 2-line main, but it's really not. So really this comes out, loop around, come back into here. So I don't be dealing with reverse loops and things like that. Don't need to. So eventually we'll get into that. So if you're back into here, this is where the Harbor Town is under construction. Take you there in just a second. All right, so here's just like a little transition scene between the 2 areas of the layouts. Harbor Town to the left, Warren Valleys to the right. We'll get into there in a little bit. Oh, bench work. It's basically L-girder, a little bit of open frame. The fascia is nothing but masonite. Eventually get painted, of course. All your gaps and creases filled in and painted up nicely. Eventually, someday, if we go around here to the left, excuse the messes over here. If you come in through that wall, like we were just looking at in the other room, I don't have a track plan. I know somebody's going to ask me, do you have a track plan I can look at? No, I don't. I made it all up as I laid the track. Did not use a track plan. All right, so we have these are background buildings here. This is the one I just recently, not too long ago, completed, Bayview Storage. So that track there will have to be extended out to maybe a little bit past the dock on that siding. There's some flats in the back to hide the gaps. This is Muniomaker Chair Company. You could fit about 3 box cars right there. We have Shipyard Brewing. That won't be rail served. It's just truck serviced. And then I have this funky thing that I have to contend with. Go back up. So there will be some buildings here come up. These are just placeholders to kind of hide the transition as best as I can. That actually is removable, and it has to be because there's a door up on the wall that a person could climb through, and there's a crawl space on the other side that goes out onto the addition on the house. So there's a water line in there that might need service someday. So the benchwork could come apart, be pulled out, and that just taken down. And you can open the door and get in there if you have to. So anyhow, these flats, and we'll back up here again. This side will be more of the town. This is our little passenger station. We'll be right in here. We have milk delivery. You can get your newspaper and gas up your vehicle. That's all I got built really for in here. So as we traverse down here, I have not decided what this siding will be. No idea. But there will be something in there. Come along down through here. Tracks will go underneath this town, which is up in here, and not really thought about. This will actually require me standing on a stool to build. So I will have to get into that before I get to this side of the room and do all this stuff down here. So that will have to get done prior to. So basically we have some building flats or background buildings and some others in here. That bank there with the pillars needs to be refurbished. This mess is picked up somewhere for like $5 or $6. And it's in sad shape, but it can be refurbished and rebuilt, and I'm going to do that at some point. That's Walder's Cornerstone. Was it Merchants Row, I think they call it. Here's another, yeah, this is another Merchants Row here. These are all just sitting here randomly. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. So we have that little block of businesses. Alright, so the track runs. Well, we'll ignore where it goes in there. It goes up this. This is actually a whole entire siding. Goes up. It's fairly steep. It's like probably a little over 2%. But it's fine. I don't need to haul long trains or anything. Just a freight car or two will go up or be pulled back down. So we'll cross over this area. This will all be water. Go across the bridge. Come up to our fishing cannery. Fisherman's Co-op and Cannery. And that whole scene is a diorama that I built. It'll go into, just kind of plopped in there. That stone building is part of it, as well as the long one. Here's our little tourist area. I'm spending a lot of time building small structures and stuff for that. I'll have a cobblestone road come in, make a loop. Yeah, all this bare plywood, this is all water. Well, it's not really. It will be. Fake water. Alright, so we have our lighthouse. We have this lovely bridge that needs installed. It's just for roads. Back up here, we have this little peninsula, a little piece of land, as well as that one over here. This comes with its boat ramp. More water all in here. Got our local VFW. And a cannon, which will be part of the decor out front of it at some point. Here's the other side of the fishing cannery. So, we've got a lot of stuff in there. Even some geese. That's not part of it. Or that stuff. Alright, so down here, we're back on the other side of the bridge, this channel that comes through. This is kind of like a big rock jetty at some point. But then when the tracks go into the tunnel way over there on the other side, they come out here. And you may be asking, what am I ever going to do if there's a derailment in the tunnel? Well, first of all, I can reach my arm way under there and pull out an unruly train if I have to. There at the back on the other side where you see it says Franklin Cigars, you see that sign there? That whole panel can be lifted straight up and out. So I can access anything on that side that would cause a problem on the rails. Alright, so I'm going to shrink her back down. Come out through here. And now we're back into the area that we're starting to get some scenery work done on. So much of my videos recently, the past few months, have been kind of dedicated to this. Other part of the town down here. And this is the most recently completed scene. I say completed. Eventually, someday, I'm going to have flashing signals, believe it or not. Someday. I'm not going to worry about going into all that right now. Too much other stuff to do. Alright, so then we back up. And you might ask a question about what the backdrop is. There is a video I posted on how I painted this. If you want to go back and find it, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago. So I thought I would do a kind of a overcast day, some rain moving in type day, instead of your normal bright sunshiny blue sky, white clouds. So it does go around, take a gander at it. It's all hand painted. Just a lot of wet on wet brushes, blending different grays and whites and things. And it's kind of cool what it looks like. I like it. Guess that's all that matters, right? All right, so we cross over our road bridge here. And we go back into the transition area in this hillside into Warren Valley. Most of my turnouts are Pico or Paco, however you say that. There are a few Atlas ones thrown here and there, and they'll eventually get swapped out for some better ones, but to get the ball rolling, there's a few here and there. This is just kind of on autopilot. Walking around, leaving my controller laying on the other side of the room. So don't yell at me for not blowing the horn. Sorry about that. Lurching stop. That's what happens when you forget to throw the switch. And onward we go. I guess we'll follow it along. We'll get over to Warren Valley. So here's Warren Valley. The view from the doorway. We shall come in here and kind of pan around. I'm trying to get it up here. You can kind of see how the trackage runs. That almost looks like a Y, but it's not. Could have been made into one if I really wanted a Y, but I didn't, so it is what it is. So when we come in here, we have Carter Tools and Paint. And Davis Shipping and Storage. Our Alco from previous is just sitting there. This particular Alco over here, kind of in the way. The backdrop here is, well, the sky is all painted by me. That's all hand painted. This whole wall is a photo backdrop from trainjunkies.com. I cut the sky out of the backdrop that I was sent in order to use my own. So I guess it's kind of like a waste of part of your money there to cut the sky out, but there really wasn't a lot on the backdrop, so it was easy to do, just a sharp pair of scissors. All right, headed in a few more businesses right here. We have Bernard Tractor Repair. We'll get around to the other side. You can see the front better of that middle building. This is a handy dandy train store. Definitely need one. There's a fire station. We have 3 houses on the other side, a fence. We got a puppy looking for some treats. I don't have a fire truck. I'm gonna get one here one of these days. Need to have a fire truck here, don't we? Just have that little chief vehicle. All right, so if you come along here, this is a duck under. The old famous railroad sign. You have a small flag stop station. A little freight transfer station. Or water tower. We got a little kind of shotgun shack going on in a checkers game. Good old boys hanging out. Across the dirt road is a little watering hole. And if we angle around here, have a little farm scene. Yes, I know round hay bales weren't invented yet in my era, but I like them anyhow. They look cool. Maybe I'll take them out one of these days if I really decide to be more prototypical. I found that out after the fact. I really thought that they were starting to do these in the 50s, but it turns out not till about the 60s. You had round hay bales. Our cornfield ready to be harvested. And a little dirt road that goes back and into the backdrop. That's all hand painted. The idea is that the road goes up and down on the other side of this little rise would be more fields for this farm. We've got our barn. Of course, your obligatory windmill and a house, corn crib, pumpkins, shed, all kinds of junk. Alright, so across the tracks, they have a little pasture with some cows. And let me stop this because I got to go under the duck under. Okay, here's the other side. Let's get back over to kind of where we were. Here's the other side of our train store. A little general store. Here's the front of the tractor repair place. Then you have a couple other little structures here. A place to get your flat tire fixed. A crossing shack and a tower. In the front of these houses, you got kids selling lemonade. You got dad getting home from work. And his next door neighbor sitting on the porch having an ice cream cone, getting his milk delivery. Alright, so here's the front of the passenger station. As far as lights go, I should have turned them on. Some of my stuff in here does have lights. Those three houses all have lights in them. The fire station doesn't. This yard light does. So does the station light here. And behind me there's a few other things. But not a lot. I haven't got much into lighting yet. There's the other side of the transfer station. There's the back side of our shotgun shack. So there's our pasture. Got remnants of an old stone building. This is all rural and woods. One thing I haven't done yet in here, just now thought of it. I thought of it a few months ago and then forgot about it. I need line poles put in. Yeah, one of these days. So there's still stuff to do in here, for darn sure. Got a road that comes down the hill, cover bridge, or a little creek. This water was done with epoxy resin, and then some water. I think it's Woodland Scenics water effects over top. The water over in the Bay Area will be done completely different. I'm going to use some acrylic pastes and products for that. But yeah, that came out pretty good. Looks like a low creek, not too high. You have a lot of washed up stuff. Alright. You leave the cover bridge, cross over the tracks, have our cemetery. We have this church. This is all in the peninsula. I didn't back up. Hopefully you didn't get lost along the way. You got the back of a couple buildings here. This is our grocery store. And this is our restaurant, a restaurant with a smokehouse. I scratch built that because they do a lot of smoking for their barbecue meats. So there's the grocery store there. Got a house. Plants, we got some apple trees. The kiddo riding his bike delivering newspapers. Got a gas station back in here. Gonna have to zoom in on it to see what's going on. We got an Italian restaurant. If we look across at the church from this angle, you can zoom up and hopefully it'll get in focus. There's the good Reverend himself. Kind of in focus. Had to really zoom that. Alright, here's a rail served industry. This is an old Walthers kit. Heavily refurbished. It's a feed and seed dealer. I named it after my mother's maiden name, Waltz Feed and Seed. So that building and then these two other buildings here are all part of the complex. You have a beat up chain link fence that goes around it. And then the rail siding. If we can get in there, it comes right into there. So you got spilled feed on the ground. That building is also part of it. That little maintenance shed. Alright, then we have our farmers market. I'm bashing stuff behind me. That's named after my dear cousins and my aunt and uncle named Core. Our crossing tower here. Got some more houses there in the middle. And if we back up, there's a lathe workshop. Then milling. Huxley Powell Milling. Huxley and Powell. Got two guys on break hanging out back. Zoom back. Anyway, we come around to this side. We're going to get into our printing company area right here. This is a separate kit. I forget what the name of it is. So I attached it to it, sort of. So that's another rail serve spot. This also is my programming track. I just turned a dead-end siding into a programming track for my DCC locomotives. All right, so here we are. Kind of all back around here again. And there we are. That's the whole way around. So you can see there's a high scenery to track ratio. There's another light switch. I use these old Atlas switches. I don't know if you can see it, but there's light in that building. I think I'm going to end up going with that Just Plug Woodland Scenics lighting system for all the rest of these structures. You can let me know in the comments what you think of it. I haven't heard anything negative about it. I've heard a lot of positive about it, so if you have any experience using the thing and any tips or tricks, throw them in the comments. Appreciate it, because that'll be coming along at some point. Along with, of course, flashing signals here. That road crossing. Zoom back around, there'll be some there. And there'll be some there. Alright, so this is the NCE system, sort of. It's wireless. This is not wireless. This is wired. That's my brains. This is an RB02 wireless system, and I did not permanently mount it yet. It may not end up not being there. Don't know. Because once I get to building the city over in that room, way over there, I'm not sure if the signal can reach the whole way. I think it probably can, but I want to be sure, because if it doesn't, I might need to relocate it from there back up under here somewhere, or even up behind the Valance. I don't know. We'll worry about that and cross that bridge when the time comes. So in the meantime, it's just going to sit there. No use in mounting it and then having to tear it out and remount it somewhere else. So it works. Behind the backdrop, that's a cinder block wall. Well, it has paneling and then cinder block behind the paneling. And then paneling on the other side of the cinder block. So I did not know if I was going to be able to get a signal through all that, but it works just fine. So I don't want to have to put repeaters in if I don't have to. This little alcove here has some work to do. Let's get her fired up. It's going to have to make a run around the room. And it'll have to come back down on this track in order to switch that car out. We're going to pick that up. So we're just going to give her a run around here. Sometimes it's fun when you're working on the layout, just to let a train run. Go ahead, upgrade. Not much, about 1%, 1.5%, probably 1, just guessing. All right, we gotta decouple. Go pick up that boxcar. This is where the big giant helping hand comes in. No, my switches are not automated. Guy in the car is going to wait in there a little while, huh? Well, this is about the extent of my operations in here. Yeah, sorry about that. Boy, do I keep it real. Holding my recorder here in one hand and the throttle in the other, and I accidentally hit the emergency stop button. Nah. Silly me. Yeah, make sure we're coupled. Looks that way. Alright, let's get out of here. Excuse me. And let's go get the rest of the train. Got to block the crossing again. Check the coupling. Looks good. Let's get out of Dodge. That's enough bells and whistles for the moment. In case you're wondering the size of this room here, this is about 15 by 13. Back there in the right corner, well, you can hardly tell it's a corner because the backdrop is coved. But behind it is a breaker panel. And so I didn't use every inch of space because you can actually, I've had a rather large electrician come in here once. What you have to do is climb under the layout and you can stand up directly behind that backdrop and open the breaker box door and do whatever you got to do in it. Just in case you were wondering. All right, folks, we're coming to the end here. So we're coming from the layout to this little area here, this table. It's just kind of where I bring up a chair and sit, and if I'm working on couplers or putting new wheels on or putting cars together or something or so forth. That's all it's used for. Of course, we got more decor. Always need decor. And we got our handy dandy bathroom. All right, so here's back in the workshop, and we're about back where I started. Well, folks, I hope you liked that little virtual tour. That was fun. I know a lot of you hadn't seen the whole shebang that goes on down here, so I figured I better throw it out here. So, new folks to the channel, you guys can now kind of see what the method is to my madness when it comes to creating this thing. It's going to be many years, a lot of work yet to be done, and it's fun the whole step of the way. All right, I wanted to get back to this stuff. So, appreciate you. Thanks again for coming and checking this out. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Please hit the subscribe button. Give me a like, give me a comment, and please, any questions you have about the layout. Like I said, if you didn't catch it earlier, there is no track plan. I know someone's going to ask me, could I see a track plan? There isn't one. I did all that out of my head. I drew up kind of a general idea on a piece of paper and then just went from there. I knew what my radiuses were going to be. I knew how much bench work I could fit into the spots. So, just kind of winged it. Alrighty, well, on to the next video, whatever that is. Probably get started on one after this weekend. Got a bunch of stuff going on. October is a busy month for some reason. Always something going on all the time. Alrighty, well, thanks again, folks. And I will get up and turn you off and turn me off. And have a wonderful day.